Yeah.
Yeah. Chicken cutlets and eggs. The bakestess.
Very
Mm.
well.
Who am I here with
Very
today?
well.
Who I got? I got Agent KS again?
No,
Nah.
this is Mr. Unknown.
Oh shit, Mr. Unknown.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Well, why Mr. Unknown rock two glasses?
Galaxy is from a place unfamiliar to you. Obviously, this is normal where he's from. Unnormal to you.
Ah, is that what it is?
Yeah, as all things.
As all things. Damn, son.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Mr. Unknown's wise.
How'd
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Unknown become wise? Why is Mr. Unknown speaking third person?
Again, why do y'all speak in first person? Hmm?
Counter, the counter, the hard counter.
Mm-hmm. See, I speak on myself both from the self and the observer's perspective. You wouldn't get that because you speak from the first person, just from yourself. Because you dimension Z niggas. You know what I mean?
It's one pair of glasses for each, for the
Yeah,
observer and for the
y'all only
self.
wear. I don't expect people that only wear one pair of glasses to understand.
Got you. The struggle, the two glass struggle. I get it.
Yeah, when you got a lot of sight, sometimes
That's
you gotta
one for the
protect
third
your
eye.
vision.
One for the third
Protect
eye.
your vision.
I feel you. All right.
Sunlight. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Foresight. Foresight needs to be protected too.
It's true. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you do beat battles?
We did. It's only 3 people today though. Only 3 people.
Were
But
the beats good?
it was I'm like, man, I gotta figure out how to step my game up. I know a lot of it is not sample choice, but still, man, like everybody else's shit was thick. Everybody got like the fat stuff, and my shit was like skinny, So
Should we hear these beats on this thing? Should we hear these beats? Can we hear these beats?
I could play them. You would have to hear them on your own, So like I'd have to literally like forward the email or something to you. So I could do that if you want. I could probably just like G Drive folder your.
Can't you just send it in Discord?
One's a wave. I gotta convert it. The MP.
Anyway, so the
waves is too thick for Discord. It's too much strain. But yeah, but no, it was cool. Yeah, in my head I was thinking other ambitious things, but I was like, let me calm down. This is just training, to do with that because I still haven't even done a lot of the other stuff I want, So let's not get ahead of myself,
Very well.
But
Makes
yeah,
sense.
that's cool. So what's new in the other things in life?
The other things, what's that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Is this a Dimension Z question?
What is Dimension Z?
That's where you live.
Is that why is it called Dimension Z?
That's what we call it. It's the last one.
It's the last one.
Yeah.
You two
In the
used
alphabet.
26 letters. Yeah.
Yeah. We use the same alphabet.
All that advanced sense is like still tied to 26 letters in English.
Some things work. Fire is not much different.
Fireworks. If it ain't broke.
Yeah. Alphabet's cool. We like it.
I got you. Do you mess with alphabet soup?
No.
Nah, you don't roll with that? You don't spell letters with your food? How come?
Seems like a waste of time.
But you can both feed your body and your mind if you're spelling while you eat. You ain't never think of that shit?
Nah.
You ain't about that?
No, we have more efficient ways to exercise our mind than spelling with our soup. But I understand your logic. I understand.
I got you. All right.
Well, what happened in your land? We like to watch what y'all do in your dimension. It's strange. Y'all live in a strange dimension. And
Mm,
a lot of strange things happen almost on a daily basis. It seems like y'all just doing strange things all the time,
mm.
wearing one pair of sunglasses, all kind of stuff.
Just one pair.
We don't understand it.
It's
We
messy.
don't understand it, but we like to research it.
Mm,
But yeah, we saw this man in your land, this a man named Tory Lanez, a Canadian,
mm.
who
I only
shot
just
another
discovered he was Canadian, by the
who,
way.
who shot a woman named Meg the Stallion.
Mm,
And then he released a music featurette presentation. I think you call them albums,
mm. Featurette.
detailing this. What did you think of these events?
I didn't even know about this till you told me about this.
Oh,
I don't
it
think.
makes sense. We would know all of your events before you do.
I don't think I'm gonna be hearing that album though.
No?
No.
It seems to be the rave.
Is it really? Is it really doing good?
No, I don't. I think people don't like it.
mm.
That's the
Di-
sentiment we get. Is people don't think it was tasteful. He disses a lot of people.
Wait, he
He
dissing
just
people too? I thought he's just
he
supposed to talk about the.
he dissed everybody that said something.
Mm, don't like
Like anyone that
opinions.
anyone that commented on it. So Bun B, Jay-Z, anybody to say anything about it. Anybody.
Yeah, I just typed his name in Google right now. I think there's a Meg the Stallion response to Tory Lanez denial that he shot her. So
Mm.
maybe that was the conclusion of the album. It ain't happened.
What do you think about it though? About it was on SoundCloud, so it's not like a real
Oh wow.
album.
Damn, he put effort into something for free? That's amazing. That's wild. I'm trying to like find it right now. That is not. Is it a song or is like it's literally an album of sound
17, 17
17
tracks.
tracks and he just gives it
Half
away on
flavor.
SoundCloud like
You have to explain.
Daystar.
Do you think this was the best? What do you think of this as a public response to anything? Like, because he's a musician, I guess, but like, no, he didn't respond in no other way. And then when he does this, it's on SoundCloud, so I guess it's not for money or anything like that. But what do you what do you think about the response literally being like through the art form? Like, if a painter responded to doing something, they just painted a picture and put it on Twitter. It was like, yep,
I mean, he putting
this
it
is me
on
explaining
wax.
it.
He putting it on wax. I guess like,
Hmm.
staying true to the art. I mean, responses through art are cool. It's just all right. I only know the story at the base form. So right, the idea of shooting anybody is usually not a good thing, So it's like to explain yourself via
Hmm.
song, and usually, you right, hip hop is famous for speaking in code. So you might not even just have to hear the song. You might have to like think and metaphorically translate. So it's like, so you did an event that is or you allegedly maybe did an event that is not good to someone else and now you're gonna explain via code like why you did such thing. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, like that don't seem like too good
So
because
you don't like it. You think
like,
it was a bad idea, is what you're
I think
saying.
maybe if it wasn't a good if it was a good event, like I don't know, like maybe he blessed some charity with too much money and he's like, well, here's why I'm doing that, so now it's just telling the story. But if it's like I just did some horrible shit to somebody and people bothering me, like, oh yeah, you want to hear why it is? Well, here's my music, like it's all right there. Um,
Right,
I guess
right.
if it's on SoundCloud, I guess in theory he's not making money. I know they have like for the famous people now. I guess they can kind of make money, and he is famous, so in theory, like it's almost like a trap, right? Like, hey man, like if you want my side of the story, come hear my music. And at the very least, you're giving me like the views or whatever. You're giving me like the clout, the chatter, whatever is the currency of the day. So it does seem kind of like fuckery. Like if I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go down with some with some green, or something, So
Okay, so that's you take it, I guess, kind of how seem like the majority of people are kind of looking at it, that it was just.
and is it just me assuming that he really did shoot her? Because I don't really know anything about
That's what it
Tupac.
seemed
Yeah,
like.
yeah,
That's what, like, I think the police said that. So
yeah.
this is outside of like hearsay or I don't know. But that was, I don't know. That's kind of, I thought that was interesting. Just, you think it was just like a Hail Mary? Like they didn't know what to do in this day and age of canceling
Well, dude,
and
I don't even think he got canceled, right?
yeah, people, well, you know what I mean.
Pre this, I don't think he got canceled, right?
No,
Pre
no,
this,
nobody, a lot of people don't get canned, but people called for it.
yeah, yeah. I feel like maybe this is me. I almost felt it would be really hard to get canceled in hip hop. Like you'd have to do some horrible shit.
Yeah, but in this present day, shot a woman, a black woman.
But I mean, like
Well,
almost like I feel like the culture regulate itself, though.
I don't. What do you when you say cancel it? I don't mean that literally. I just mean just the fact that people call for it and it trends,
Yeah.
right? And it's a headline that you're being canceled. I'm considering it you being whether that really affects the thing or not. Like, are any of these people canceled? Like, it seemed like some people when they say it, like, yeah, and then some people, not just in it, just anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So, but people called for it. Do you think this was like, and look, 'cause when it happens, most people come the next day and tweet, "Oh, I was so sorry," and whatever the fuck, some video or some shit. Do you think this was just like a Hail Mary play, like, yo, drop 17 tracks? Know what I mean?
Well, he going off your sorry thing. He didn't even say he was sorry, right? On the album doesn't say that, right?
I don't know. I guess you'd have to listen to it to find out, but I don't know. Maybe he says it.
If it was an album of remorse, maybe. May I think it would fly over with people. But I don't think, based on just me typing his name in Google, that's an album of remorse and what you've been telling me. Sounds like
Yeah, I don't even mean if it was remorseful, just as a response in general. Do you think, like, why? You think it was for money or like why the choice to drop a 17 track
I think
album
it
to
was if it was
respond?
for money, I think it wouldn't have been on SoundCloud. So once you told me that, that almost unless it's some like long term play to keep the name or I don't know things working. I don't really understand sometimes like the free music with the famous
It
people.
was just too much to explain in tweets.
Yo, if Kanye could paste one contract at a time, one page of his
It was too
contract,
much.
there is
Like
no
he
too
had to.
much. Did Kanye
Maybe
change
it
the
just was.
game?
Maybe the best way he felt like he could get it all off, since I guess that's way he's an artist in that. I guess I don't know. I'm just trying to think why would that be the format for anybody's response to anything except like rap beef? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could
Yeah.
see if somebody was dissing each other, he's like, you know what, I'm dropping 17 tracks on this fool, or I don't know, it just seemed weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we'd almost
Mm.
have to like know more about the
So you think
album.
it was a Hail Mary, yes or no? Well,
But what Hail
now
Mary
you think
from
it's
what?
something
So
more than
Hail
that?
Mary of being like canceled? Like I don't think.
Like, no, like a PR response. It's not about being, it's just you got bad publicity. What is your response to this? How are you going to respond? You're going to get up on, whatever podium. I'm regretful for what I tweeted. You're going to tweet,
Because
hey,
I
I didn't
think the
mean those
normal Hail
things.
Mary would have been to do what the stereotype like. All right, you would have maybe started with a tweet and then make the rounds on Hot 97, Breakfast Club, etc.
But that's
Uh,
not a Hail Mary. That's the standard play. That's what I'm saying. Do you think
but
this
but
was
be,
like none
but
of.
to me, I feel like those are Hail Marys, like because it is a standard play.
Nah, but I mean a Hail Mary in the sense is you just throwing it. A Hail Mary is not a play. You just
I mean, Hail
throwing the
Mary is a play. I
ball.
played NFL
You know
2K.
what I mean? It's not really no. It's not that much. It's not that much strategy. To just as you
Randy Moss,
essentially.
go run that way. I got you. I'm
Right. Okay. Well, what's a Hail Mary?
In football or the
No, what is
metaphor?
it? What do you think they get the name from? What's a Hail Mary?
I don't know, from football. That's where I got the name from.
What is Hail? Where did
It's a
football get
prayer
it
to
from?
Mary.
It's a prayer.
Yeah,
That's what the play is. It's
yeah,
a prayer.
yeah.
That's why people say a Hail Mary. It's just like a last, we hope this worked. Throw it deep. Somebody catch it, maybe, right? Like, obviously, it could be used more strategically or whatever in football, but the gist is this is a prayer. It's just throwing a long joint, right? And hopefully this work out. Run straight.
So my
So
thing is with having an issue saying it's a Hail Mary is like, well, what is he trying to get from it?
it's just a response, I guess, to defend himself from all of the things that were being said because of what happened. So normally, when something like this happens, people they don't throw Hail Marys, they release a Twitter. They get their linemen up on the interviews. They run a few yards, like they play a game. Yeah, I mean, you praying whether it works or not, I suppose. In that sense, you don't know if it's going to work or not, but people usually have some PR BS response when something happens. But dropping a 17 track album, I don't know. Like, I don't expect every person in things to respond that way, but I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting play to use. It's not the normal play in a bad publicity stunt. So is it just they just was throwing the ball? They just like, yo, just run 17 tracks. This will fly to sound good. It'll explain everything. This will win them over. Or what do you think? Or you just think he just was getting it off? Or
I feel like the whole thing's very speculative for me because it's like for
mm,
me because I don't know
conspiracy
enough
theory.
about any of this. Like, cause I'm like, cause I don't exactly. I'm like literally googling to try to catch up.
It don't matter.
Cause I'm having a tough problem. Like, what a Hail Mary is a purpose, and I'm like in my head, I guess. I'm like, I'm not sure why I would ever want to drop an album to change anybody's opinion on something this. If I was in that circumstance, I'm never thinking like, you know what's gonna save me? A free mixtape. You know?
You know what we're not doing? We're not throwing the Hail Mary. We're gonna try to. That's what
No,
you're
no, there's
basically
other Hail
saying.
Marys. This ain't it though. So that's why I'm trying to figure out. There
Yeah.
must have been something else. That's why I'm googling
Damn. This
because
isn't even Hail Mary
I
worthy
don't know what
to you.
this
This is
no, because this like Hail Mary's like, look, I'm gonna throw you the ball, right? Like this is like, you know what? I'm gonna go eat a hot dog. You know, like wait, what? Like has nothing
so
to do. We're not even playing the same game. You know what I mean? Like
you don't even think this is a real
it's not a move.
response.
No,
This isn't
I have a
even.
play right here, and you're just pulling some shit from over there. So that's
So it
why I'm
don't make.
like, what are you doing right now? You know, like you get banned, you get, you know, you said cancel, so I don't even mean that, but I'm kicking you off the team right now. I don't know what you're doing right now. You know,
Right, right.
like,
Oh, so you think he trying to show you how he still could play? Like, you can't cancel me, coach. Look at my moves. You think it was a
maybe the stars in
mm,
his head so much. So this is a different candidate. I'm canceling you, not like the industry canceling, but I'm canceling you because look, my team's trying to do something. I don't really know what you're trying to do right now. You know, like we trying to
shooting
win, right?
people?
You know, like this is a very random move. And then look, like I still don't understand. Maybe you know this, but now there's like beef with Rick Ross over this. It's like, was that even the intention over this?
Well, I don't listen to this dude's music, and to be honest, I kept getting this dude confused with Travis Scott,
Oh
just
wow,
because their names both was
T,
was
T.
T's, and I just assumed they make kind of like similar sounding music, but I don't know. But this is he like a fake Drake dude. This dude, right? Tory Lanez, he like a
I'll be
singing
honest with
kind
you.
of
I don't
dude.
know what he's. I'm way more familiar with Travis Scott these days.
I think he like a singing rapper kind of Chris Brownish kind of thing. I don't know, but whatever. So I don't follow this dude at all. Clearly, I barely knew who he really was. I know who Travis Scott is now, but I just kept confused, and sometimes I wouldn't know. But anyway, people commented. So because he didn't run a normal play after it happened, and people are like, "Oh my God," and all this speculation, he didn't come out and do a tweet and do kind of the stuff that you normally see people do. I don't know if it upset people more or what, but he didn't say anything. So now all of these people were, commenting on it. Rick Ross, I'm sure 50 Cent, like he had joked about it when
50
it
Cent
first
said
first
stuff too.
happened. No. He didn't get it. This was like when it first happened, and people weren't
Oh,
even
just the
sure
story
if
of her
people
getting
weren't even
shot.
sure if he even did it. Just when the story was out, that everybody commented on the memes and shit, but anybody, it seemed like that had something to say negative. Once it was known that I guess he did it or whatever, he fired some shots. So Rick Ross probably said something. I said something, and
I just read it. I
he
don't know if you want
responded
me
to
to.
everybody.
Yeah, but yeah, he said it was just poor timing with what's going on in the world. So,
You think we should deport him? You think hip hop should try to get him deported?
mm.
Or like so he can't come here no more since he's Canadian? I've seen tweets like that. I'm just saying.
Oh wow, that's a real
It's
thing.
probably in joking. Nah, it's probably in joking, but I mean, do you think it should go that far?
I almost feel like
Hip hop deports him out of
to
the
answer
US
those
hip hop?
questions more seriously, I feel like I'd have to like literally understand more of the situation going
He
on.
shot somebody. That's it. He allegedly, well, not allegedly. I mean, he shot. I don't know why, but he shot somebody. A woman.
I don't know. I was reading stuff. I know he shot. So that's like officially confirmed. There's
That's
no.
what I gathered. Like
Uh,
police confirm. Like, yeah.
yeah, I mean, and the question is, should he be banned for that, or like from hip hop or something? Or
Yeah,
like,
deported from the US.
I mean, but this goes back to what I was saying because I know you're trying to get like my opinion, but it's just like hip hop don't do that, right? We're in a Chris Brown world, right? Hip hop don't do that right now.
So in hip hop, nobody gets canceled.
Not yet. Maybe one
He's
day.
Canadian. Do you think that factors in though?
I think people only gonna hold that.
Oh,
They only gonna
why
hold
you
that
squinting
against you
like
because they
that?
only gonna hold that against you like when you take the L. Because
Is he real?
because Lord Drake is Canadian, and well, he's real
That's true.
yeah,
But do you
exactly.
think?
So it's
Yeah, but you
like
think there's kind of a vibe about Drake that yeah, he's the most popular, but there is some sediment that he's a little fishy. You think it's the Canadian thing?
are you saying your settlement because
By the
you're
way,
not
I don't
writing
have any
lyrics?
problem with
Like, are
Canadians.
you saying your settlement because you?
We see all of y'all in Dimension Z, all of the same. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I'm just naming the labels that y'all have for your little geographic areas. So the little place where these Canadians live, do you think it's possible that the United States hip hop people think differently of the Canadians?
I'm sure someone is jealous of like why is Drake the master when he's from Canada and not
You think that
here?
makes them more expendable if something were to happen, some extreme situation?
Wait, what? Wait, what? I don't, wait, what?
Do you think that would factor into their cancel immunity if something were to happen, or it just don't happen in hip hop at all? It don't really matter.
I
It don't
mean,
matter where you from or
maybe
nothing
this is
like
the
that.
first. I think sooner or later stuff will have to give, right? But all the stuff going on in the world and like everybody telling a story and things changing, like hip hop so far, I feel like that hasn't happened. Maybe I ain't been paying attention, but I feel like that hasn't happened. Um,
So, has anyone ever been canceled in hip hop then?
I think label style, like as we
You
go,
mean like blackballing kind of?
like industry style, but I don't think like it coming from the fans so much. I feel like it coming from the industry. You know, like people maybe don't want to play the game in a certain way. Um, but I don't feel like from. It seemed like you can be like as fucked up as you want to be sometimes. You know, in the hip hop and still kind of get away with it. You know, somewhat. You know.
Let's think for a second.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody. I can't. I'm just trying to make
Any
sure.
example?
Is there anything that happened in like
It's all
history
industry
that we
stuff.
know?
Just all industry
No,
stuff. Like
no
like
one's been really. Yeah.
yeah, it's all like he fell off their label thing and like that's it now. You know, now he's not really cool anymore. Um, but not so much it coming from the outside world. I feel like it's usually industry people labeling up and doing whatever weird shenanigans they do. You know.
So this is all asinine. canceling anybody in hip hop is
I
asinine.
mean, right? Microcosms and stuff in the world reflects each other. Like sooner or later, it might seep through, but for now, not really. You
Yeah.
know, like so, like I don't remember what Chris Brown's first music was post Rihanna gate. I don't even really know that story. I just know that he more than likely hit Rihanna. Um,
Mm.
and he seems, I don't know if fine is the word, but he seems like like people want to do a feature. He just did a 2 songs with Lord Drake too. Music
Mm.
video and everything. I think like last year or something. Um,
Do the people ever cancel anybody actually, or is it
I f-
always because,
Other
right, like
shit.
a corporate interest or
Yeah, it's
sponsors or
usually the corporate.
something like that? You
It's
know, do the
usually the
people have the
corporate.
people ever? Do we have one example
No.
anywhere where like something happened? Not like over time things become less popular. Like, yo, something happened and people were just like, we're not messing with it no more.
I'm
And like
trying to think, but I'm thinking no.
the next day or week, there was like an immediate impact. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, people were really done. This is went out of business or something like that because of what they did.
Yeah, nah, I don't feel like it.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. People's careers take downturns, but because remember we spoke about, I said that lip singing, getting caught lip syncing was the equivalent to like, I don't know, ghostwriting it or something like that, where like it seemed like people just don't like that, and like they will punish the
Oh, like Milli
celebrities.
Vanilli and stuff like that.
Yeah, and can't remember the girl, Ashley something
I
Simpson or
think
something.
I think if this, it's easy to use Drake as the example, but it's a good example too. I think like if we were in 1990 and that Drake shit comes out, like I don't know if he gets canceled the same way Van Milli Vanilli, but I think there's a certain part of hip hop that maybe stops fucking with Drake. Um, but at this point, like pop music is a thing, like and he might lose the respect of MCs, but that's kind of the equivalent of a corporate entity saying, "All right, the hardcore gamer is mad at us. They're probably gonna fuck with us anyway. Keep moving. If they don't, who cares? Keep moving.
But do you think that even in the case with the singers, that is really not even the people? That is really because after that event, people in the corporate were like, all right, y'all messed up. You got caught lip sync and we ain't, I mean, we don't like the optics of it. Or was that, or do you think those were really
If it's
because the
coming from the
people,
corporate, they probably gave up on the idea. But it's like who you think probably put that shit together too? Unless they were really scamming, those would be some G's if they're really scamming the labels and all that. I don't know the
so the
Milli
people,
Vanilli story, but like I'm sure everybody was in on it until it just they weren't.
that's what, yeah, they got caught, the tape skipped or something like that. And they were, it was exposed live that they were uh, lip singing, I think it was. And then it came out that they weren't even singing, I think, on none of the albums. But I think that was like the big exposure moment for them or whatever. Like they
Yeah.
were live, the wrong thing played or whatever. So the people, so the people in Dimension Z are just a bunch of bullshitters. Y'all don't ever really unify and cancel nothing. Y'all could buy stuff up and hype things to all kind of heights, but when it comes to the opposite way, people really is just kind of one way. It seemed like it's not. Can we think of anything like that serious? People really just.
So now wait, now you saying people don't cancel? If we keeping it to hip hop, but in the world, that's real. That's a real thing. The canceling.
You think people really? I don't mean people getting upset and then getting some company to do something. I mean like
What are we talking about? Yeah, maybe you need to explain because
that's not canceling. That's
so
not
none
canceling
of
to
the
me. That's like you
any of the Hollywood stuff is not it.
see if you get them to do something. Yes, it's like, yeah, your voice had an effect,
If you
and
get them to do
now
something, because now I'm just taking literally the sentence. If you get them to do something, the Zack Snyder movie is literally the people getting them to do something. The new one, the Justice
But
League.
is Zack Snyder canceled?
No, but you just said getting them to do something, and that was a hashtag.
No, I get it. That's good.
All right.
You got a reaction from them, but that's not what canceling is. Canceling is I understand cancels. We're not supporting you, whether you apologize, whether you change the label. If I'm demanding you do something, that's different. Me demanding that you take Zack Snyder off the film because he sucks isn't like me saying like I denounce this. So I'm not talking about consumers being exercising power to get products changed. That happens all of the time. I mean,
the
people
Lakers
saying, yo, we hate Zack Snyder. Like Zack Snyder is a movie terrorist. And we're not with him. We don't care where studio he go to. Yo, we don't if you make a movie with Zack Snyder, we're not watching none of your movies out of your studio. None of them. None of them. If you have anything with Zack Snyder in it, we're not watching it. Like, has something like that happened? Because people could say, oh, we don't want the image of this on this label, right? A bunch of stuff like that. We don't want these images, but they were selling it like that for mad long. So if you really you want them to change
all the people
image,
that disappeared during the Me Too stuff, though, that doesn't count for what you're saying, or no?
How they disappeared?
Well, the easiest one is the executive. The one
went to he gotta go. He gotta go to jail. These people committed crimes. Did they go to jail? These people? Because I'd have to see if he was out. If R. Kelly was free or whatever, would people still mess with him or not? Would you talking about Weinstein?
Wait, yeah. Is R. Kelly in jail?
Yeah. And Weinstein he got real charges behind it. You know what I'm saying? So,
but
he's canceled by virtue of that. And
so yes, what does cancel mean? Like you can't even do it, or you just not as famous no more? Because Louis C.K.
I guess I have that's what my definition is. People say they're canceling something, they're not supporting it, and they don't want to see it at all.
Yeah, like because Louis C.K. is a good example, right? Because he's not going to jail, because he didn't do nothing, I guess, on that level.
He's
on the comeback.
He's a good one.
I mean, COVID probably messed that up for him big time. I imagine.
But that did affect him. Yeah, he
had a movie coming out. He was probably like he was probably like at the top rank of comedians for us. Feel like when you talk to those people, you know. Now, I doubt any of them will say that. They'll still probably say he's dope, really talented, you know. But like, that might not be the coolest thing to say, Louis.
All right, and you know what? I mean, for something outside of something like rapists and shit, like obviously.
Because I was thinking of Kobe Bryant and the Lakers too, and the Lakers stuck with him, but there was outcry to remove Kobe.
Yo, those are like super. I mean, I guess what? Those are the only things we try to be. That's a big thing, right? Like, all right, nobody supports rapists and stuff anyway, though. Right?
I mean,
they're pre-canceled by law.
The Tory Lanez thing. I mean, it's not rape, but it's essentially a man doing bad thing to a woman, right? Shooting a girl is usually not considered shooting anyone. It's not considered a good thing.
And he's still going to have to deal with the law with that because we've already deemed as a society that you'll get canceled for certain actions. So look, what I'm saying is I don't need.
But a lot of these topics, just in general, they're probably going to be a man-female thing. Is why I brought it up because just even the Tory Lanez thing is that too. You know?
Well, no, shooting somebody is a crime at the end of the day. People were fixated on the fact that it's a male and a woman.
But honestly, if it was two rappers, do you think we even be talking about it? Maybe me and you, but I mean, do you think?
No, but
if it was two men rappers,
again, but if it was two rappers, here's the thing: if they got caught by police, and are deemed, and you know, they're hit by the law. We've already agreed that people shooting people or raping people is a cancelable offense. We don't need the public.
But in hip hop, two men rappers shooting each other. That's like
I'm not just talking about hip hop. I'm just talking about. We already agreed that in hip hop you don't get canceled, right? Or else we'd be canceling people for shooting other people. But we don't need people per se to like cancel someone for committing crimes. In fact, we've already agreed that we'll cancel these people by virtues of the laws that exist for them, right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but
yeah.
what I'm saying is if James Gunn makes tweets that are offensive, that's not necessarily a crime, right? Like, if you
So
rape
him and Kevin
someone,
Hart.
whether there's a public
Yeah.
outcry or not, whether you rape someone, it's already deemed we could throw you in jail. If you kill someone, in some places, the state could kill you. So we don't need you to be everybody to be on Twitter upset about certain things. Yeah, people bring things to light and stuff, but we've already deemed those things cancelable. Period. I'm talking about other shit that isn't like this isn't illegal
So you
per
mean yeah,
se.
him, James Gunn, and Kevin Hart are good examples because they actually lost things. Uh,
So
though
they
if
were canceled because of the
but
people.
it seemed temp cancel. So like James Gunn is probably and even Kevin Hart. Like though Kevin Hart probably got more
Kevin
outcry.
Hart.
At the end of the day, the people who made the decisions,
What
or
happened
the
to
end,
him?
which one?
Kevin Hart.
He had gay tweets, and I don't remember what James Gunn's tweets were, but I think Kevin Hart had to like bash his like
I
he would bash a
remember.
dollhouse or over some shit
I
like that.
remember. I know now. Yeah, and he apologized. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
So,
these are
but
good
so
examples of
he
things.
lost the it's not the Emmys, but one of those, the Golden Globes, one of those
Hmm.
useless awards, and but it looks like they were kind of willing to stick with him. He just didn't want to apologize because the whole principle of the whole thing and growth and whatnot. He didn't want to go on the tour and like um some type, but he just didn't want to play like their apology game. I don't remember the exacts of it. James Gunn, I think it maybe, and this is maybe shows the picking and choosing of humanity, right? I don't think no one wanted to cancel James Gunn, and that might be a heavy bias. I don't even remember what Gunn said. I'd have to look it up, but that might be a heavy bias towards we really like Guardians of the Galaxy. Let him keep making Guardians, but Disney's
Well, so
Disney, and so Disney. I feel like Disney forced that. I don't think there was no person who was really calling for it. Maybe the party's offended, but it was such a minute voice versus Kevin Hart had like a huger voice. A lot of these the sexual ones we were talking about earlier, huge voice. I think James Gunn didn't really have that huge voice, and it might be the bias of like his movies are good enough.
Kevin Hart was doing fine though afterwards. The Oscars is gonna pander
Well, but
to
Kevin Hart
the
at this point, right,
fans.
is so independent. He has so many people that fuck with him. Like you would have to, he'd have to go like a combo. He'd have to drop 17 tracks of insulting the world. You
So
know.
he didn't get canceled. There's no such thing then,
But he
really.
got canceled from a potential path. Like maybe he don't get to play with the pretty people right in Hollywood now when it comes to the Golden Globes. Maybe that path is maybe forever gone to him now.
But is that the people or is that the corporations doing what's safe for themselves?
It
Or did
might be
the
a little
I
bit of
know it's
both.
fun
It
because of
might
the
be a
people
little
who
bit of
brought
both.
this up, and that's why they responded in such. But I'm looking for like people who are decimated by themselves and nobody supports them. Like, is canceling just fake? Is it just a
But what
thing
about the
that's
Louis
said?
C.K.
And
thing?
do people still go to his shows? Is he like really done? Like, yeah, I think he might be the one example. I think that like,
He ain't what he
yeah, that
was. He was
shit.
like,
Yeah, that I think that's the
but he's
only
gonna be
one.
just fine too, though. But he ain't ever
That's
gonna
not what
be.
I mean, though. I don't
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah.
but he's been like you could tell like damage was done. Like, yo,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
really don't fuck.
I
Like
mean,
regular people don't fuck with you no more.
he was gonna be on his
Like,
own Kevin Hart, Eddie Murphy's like his own like legend story, and to some people he
right.
might, but now he's probably only gonna be a legend to comedians and not
I'm sure
maybe.
all people could keep a fan base,
Yeah, yeah.
some to some, but it's his damage is like almost irreparable. You would say not irreparable,
He
like
could come back.
impossible,
It just
but
might
like,
take a while. Cause
but
the
I
one
mean,
example that came to me, but I feel like it was probably more corporate, even though it was race involved. Mel Gibson, he's kind of never really come back. But now, like, if you want to talk about like conspiracies and Illuminati, right? There's the idea that the right Jewish people kind of run that town. It's always going to be real hard for him to come back. Plus, he's old
yeah. See,
now.
I don't know. I don't know if the people can't like because he never made like because that's the infrastructure. Like, did Mel Gibson make movies after all of that? Because if he made a
Very
movie
few,
by
very few. We'd have to pull it up.
where
But
did they do well? Like
I
by
almost
because
felt
if
like they
they
were like
did, then it's
independent things though. Similar, like you said, it's keeping a fan base. It's not so much where he was before, though. You know?
He not getting like half a lethal weapon hit by
Hell no,
himself.
nah.
All right. So they not messing with him no more. Okay.
Like I feel
Louis C.K.
I feel like the ties have been kind of like healed, but it's still not like.
So why is it canceled? Was it effective against CK and not other
I mean, it was
other
offensive. It
people
was
that
canceled against him. Look, like the only movie I know here, and Mel Gibson's thing is Expendables 3. And maybe I just didn't see Expendables 3, but I don't even remember that.
he made that?
He didn't make
Wait,
it.
what?
He's in it. He's in.
Oh yeah, right.
I don't really know any of these other Mel Gibson things though. You know, Signs. Like finally, I know something. That was like 2002. You know, like the Beaver. Like I don't know what that is. Get the Gringo.
Yeah, the Passion of the Christ is kind of like the last.
Signs
I
was
think
not.
that's
Signs was hard. That was not that as good, but I mean that was a culture thing. That was the guy with the plot twist, M Night. That was M
yeah.
Night's
No, I know
movie.
what it is.
What about like his director stuff? Because I know he was moving into that.
But Passion of the Christ is like when he kind of gets canceled though.
So I guess he was not. Passion is like 2004. Oh really? So Passion was 2004. Is that
That's
when he
where
got
all of
canceled?
this stuff comes from. That's where all of the anti-Semitic stuff and
So
from my
Apocalypto, he dropped
recollection.
it when he was already canceled.
Yeah, I
Apocalypto.
think he was. I
Huh.
think he was. All go. You could go look, but I'm pretty sure, like around Passion of the Christ, there was a lot of stuff around him and like anti-Semitic stuff, and that he was just saying, getting his shit off, and
Cause look, he don't
yeah,
do a
that's my
movie.
memory. Maybe something happened after. I don't know.
He didn't direct a movie till 2016, and like that was like the first one since. And now it says he got something coming out in 22, so maybe he's starting to climb back again. But yeah, like he had to. He wasn't in Mad Max. Not that he needed to be Old Man Max, but yeah, that movie took like 400 years to make. So I know there were versions of him being in the new Mad Max, in some capacity. But yeah, he wasn't in that. Like, yeah. Like I feel like the vibe I get, like I feel like I think in some ways he's, I don't know if cool again is the word, but like I think it's something that like people will not forget. So he's probably has this weird path, like he's allowed to work, but maybe not to again the same thing. What it could have been without all that trouble he went through. I mean,
Yeah,
I tell you
I don't
what,
know.
fighting
feel like
games is a good example right now because I don't see anybody who's been canceled recently coming back because the events themselves, they're kind of almost unionizing in terms of banning people. So if you can't even go to the event, like how do you bring yourself back? Unlike some of the other games, yeah.
But that's kind
But
of hard
they're
now to
kind of run
know.
by people. Like these things aren't big enough to be corporate, but so they're kind of like run by people so much. So if enough people complain, like someone notices, and then they all hop on.
It's easy for people to actually get you canceled there because if the corporate interest play, then you really cancel because you have to play there.
Yeah.
Period. So you're really done for all intents and purposes. I suppose you could stream by yourself, right? And maybe get a following, but for
Yeah,
all
yeah.
intents,
You'd
you
have to
can't
think
even be at the tournaments no
outside of the
more.
box. You can't do the normal tournament fighter
It's
thing.
not like music where you could still release your own album and
Yeah.
release your own music, or you get kicked off of a show, you could start your own show or something like that. Like you really can't even replicate. You can't go to the tournaments no more. So
Yeah.
you're done, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I'm just curious if does it have an effect? Does cancel culture? I mean, it does. It gets responses, but do people really stick to canceling all the way down, all of the way down to where people just wither away into nothing, and all they got is a little fan base and their little dark corner, and that's it. We never see you again.
I mean, it might like again, Louis C.K. might be an example of that. Like little might be relative, but like yeah, he just might be in
Yeah,
this
but
world.
exceptions don't make the rules. Dimension Z man. Exceptions don't make the rules. While it's a very good case, And I agree. Like, we don't have a list of Louis C.K.'s to be like, yup, man, at the least in the comedy world, yo, when they cancel you, the people mean it. They not coming to your shows like you
And
back
like
at
I
the
said,
bottom.
fighting games are the same way. It's kind of maybe the perfect size so that it works there too, you know?
You think so? See, I feel like it's the CK one is a good example because I'm sure you could still get book places, right? Like, yeah, venues might not want to mess with you, but if people still mess with you, they're gonna go see you. Like, they're still gonna pack your joints. Like, even if you go to the places that still want to mess with you, like, I don't know, like if you still had a strong following, like, yeah,
Yeah,
people still
Louis
packing it
was so
out.
big that just based on the percentages, there's going to be enough people that follow. He just might need to adjust, you know, like maybe what monies he wants now. No, but he should
Mm,
be just fine, I think. But like the fighting games is the perfect because if like fighting games were maybe more esports size or you know like pro sports size, then we can almost put it the way we've done everything. The people might be mad, but it might not mean nothing, you know. But fighting games
mm.
are almost the perfect size. Enough people say some shit, it's true now, you know. Um,
Yeah. And we can move on from this. I guess one way would be to see, right? Like if somebody got canceled, like to watch their followers drop to zero. Or like lose. Obviously that's not realistic that it would
yeah,
drop to zero, but like, yo, they lose 25%. Or like a big percentage of people that really aren't feeling them, like,
I feel like there's been
nah.
instances of that, but
Really?
I don't know if it was in direct. It's usually something they did, but I don't know. I can't think of a cancel, and that stuff's not gonna come. You'd almost have to be like 25% follower loss on Google and see why.
Mm.
Like,
You like, what do you think of the canceling?
what do you mean?
What do you think of it? What do you think of the cancel culture or whatever?
As an artist, the right kind of only answer is to be against it because a lot of it is done usually pre evidence of whatever. Obviously, this is thinking of you know certain things of recent. But a lot of times it's done in instant reaction and not necessarily after things have been proven. You know, so
Mm.
that's you. It's usually like ahead, and then you know like Twitter. A lot of people forget Twitter and stuff is like usually a minority. It's not a reflection of the world. You know, like because not everybody's
Mm.
on Twitter. You're not on Twitter. I'm not. Even though I'm on Twitter, I'd never have posted on there in my life. You know, like I don't do know what's going on. You know, so. But they let that, you know, a lot of times, right? These certain minorities are so loud. They're like, all right, I guess it must be true, you know, and people listen, you know.
Mm.
So
Mm. Very well. I find it all very interesting.
you know, just yeah. And
Interesting.
fighting games, it felt very much in the Kevin Hart space. Like the sexual stuff aside, like people getting canceled for like how they were talking or saying, I was like, well, it was always videos of the past and like judging people by the past. So like Kevin Hart, you know, or the James Gunn thing, like, oh, here's what you did pre 2010, and it's like, okay, like, but they're not doing it no more. You know, they changed, they grown, but still, you need to be punished for the sins of your past, you know, and so that part of the cancel thing is like if you didn't live a 100% perfect life, you might need to go, you know, and
Mm.
so that part is like kind of like sketch, you know.
Or do you think it's just the sins of the past catching up with people?
It could be that too, right? And karma and shit. It could be that too.
Mm. Mm. People could change though, I suppose, but then sometimes it's too late for that. Sometimes,
I mean,
sometimes you get what's coming to you, whether you change or not.
but that's the price on a lot of these things we're talking about. Like a lot of the currency is right public opinion, you know. So um,
Mm.
if you don't sell them the perfect image, it could be rather tough. Versus like maybe you did some scummy shit at a normal job, right? Um, but it really doesn't matter like what people think of you at the normal job, right? It's not famous, it's not sexy, right? So it
Mm.
might not, you know, it might
See,
not ever reach that claim
these things are only important because they're already in the land of glitz and
of the
visibility and
limelight, yeah.
notability and importance and whatever.
Because all these horrors happen on all kinds of parallels, right? But yeah,
Mm.
so
Mm. Very well.
Mm.
What other things are going on in your universe?
I have no idea, man. I don't know. I'm gonna go to the easy topic, the easy pop topic for us. Unless you got some stuff. Let's see.
Mm,
Look, I
I
go
don't think
here.
so.
A topic comes up immediately. Um, Damn, none of these topics are good for you.
Mm.
But I could say this. Here is every PS5 game confirmed so far.
What are the other topics? They were good topics for you and just not me.
No, I was going through like some comic book websites just to see because that should be like easy stuff for us. That's why.
On comic books. So I did buy this the other day, and I was like, man, I kind of messed up. I kind of want to take it back. It's the Civil War, the comic book.
Oh, the real one, the graphic novel.
Yeah, but this is just volume one. This is the
Oh,
one.
okay.
It's seven. I don't know. It's because it's so old. They have so many different like release series of it. You know what I mean? There's one that's 7 parts. Then there's I don't know. It was released in all sorts of different kind of ways over the time since it came out. But I didn't realize they had what are they called? Omnibuses? Omnibus. But you could get like a whole big event or a series of comic books that are like cohesive in just one big book instead of like say the event took place in mad different comic books or something. You could just get the Onslaught story in one big book. You could get
Yeah.
the Infinity War thing in one big book. So I haven't collected comics
Once
in a long
everything's
time.
done, yeah, you could do that for almost most
So
stories.
I think I'm gonna collect a few of the big stories. I'm gonna try to find the big books for like Maximum Carnage. Um,
Real quick, what made you want to do Civil War again?
well, I went to a bookstore with Tab the other day, and I was just looking. That was like the only aisle. I looked through a bunch of aisles, but it was like a small bookstore. I was just looking in the comic book section. I saw it, and I was like, "Yeah, I should get this." I kind of remember reading it. And then when I came home, I was like, I kind of was like, maybe I should read the whole thing and actually see what happened in all through the comic books. Because Johnny didn't even have all of them when it came out. Like I don't think he had. We read like a few of them.
Man, I ain't
I was
heard
like,
that name in a while, Johnny.
I wonder if I should just. Then I saw that they had the books like that, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I could just buy one book, have all of them, read it, and that because I'm not buying it for collector's purpose or nothing else really. It'd be cool to have to, so to speak, I guess, just to have it. But then I was like, yo, do they have Maximum Carnage and like Onslaught and like the Dark Phoenix saga stuff? And they do. So I'm like, let me think of the stories that I like more so the big crazy ones. And
so
just
you've
buy the big
finally
books
seen
from it.
Tenet and you're left wondering what in the actual...
Now start talking like some video started playing for something I was gonna talk about later. I was like, it's a go
Infinity
back.
Gauntlet,
Yeah.
Infinity War, stuff like that. The Onslaught, Maximum Carnage, maybe X-Men versus Avengers, or like the big, those big kind of ones.
Apocalypse doing things.
Yeah. That way I don't have to get a bunch of separate books.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to have them, and it's just in one kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the cool stories or whatever. So, yeah.
There's a. Do you remember the name of the store you were at?
Half price books.
I thought you were gonna say like something unique to Austin. It's like the normal place. No, there's a big there's a pretty, it's at least cool to go in one. There's a comic book store in the north. Obviously you're north, but I mean just like the north part of the city-ish. It's still around like the 50s street, so you're still not even downtown anymore. But yeah, it's like Austin Comics or something. It's Austin, so it's not like there's many. It's on it's on Lamar's. It's the main shit. So
okay. just looking at like that little aisle, because they only had like a little aisle. It wasn't even. They have real comic books too. That was like in the graphic novel, or I guess a paperback aisle for it.
Yeah.
It was so much. It reminded me of Netflix. I was just like, I'm never really gonna read comics again. There's way too many stories. It looked like all sorts of stuff. I'm sure that I haven't even caught up with. Like it's been years. It just seemed like way too much stuff. And I was just like, yeah, I'll probably. Now I wouldn't know where to even like start or look. But so I was just like, I'll just get the cool old stories that I like. And if I somehow like it, I'm like, you know what? I want to read another comic book graphic novel kind of thing. It'll probably be on the lines of whatever the equivalent of like a mini series is, or some like one book shit. Like I'm not jumping into the main. I don't know how things are though, but it looked crazy. It looked like just too much new stuff, all kind of crazy stuff.
The
Too
power
much.
of the niche, man. The power of the
It's
niche.
too much stuff.
Yeah, it's too much for everything. It's kind of just
But
take.
maybe some cool stories or something. Maybe some shit. I don't know.
I got you. So I can hit you with the. It's funny. I went outside this week, and did I text you that picture of the movie theater? Well,
I don't
they
know.
had The Empire Strikes Back right in this movie theater. I didn't go to the movie theater. I was just outside and I saw it, so I took a picture because I saw it was like now playing, and I saw The Empire Strikes Back and The Land
Mm,
Before Time, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
wow.
I know, right? It's the movie
Mm,
before time, dog. But
wow.
Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back earned 900K this weekend. I don't know if that's good or bad in this current world, but it's still like for a movie that came out 40 years ago, it's something.
Well, you said Mulan did good, right? Was that good?
I don't know, man. I think like because literally
200 million,
after
you
they
said?
announced that, yo, the next day Marvel was like, "Well, guess what? All our movies are coming out later when we beat COVID." And they put out all these dates that are like can easily be moved again. Nothing comes out till May. Black Widow's in May and blah blah blah. Cause yeah, Mulan in 2 weeks made like 260 million, and I believe like 30. I want to say like 30% of the people who have Disney Plus got it, maybe some shit like that. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
That's pretty good. Those numbers sound like they're good.
But I guess in a worldwide thing where a lot of those movies, in theory, have the potential for 1 billion. They like. I guess they were like, nope, not enough, not enough. So I don't know if we're gonna get any more on-demand Disney stuff. At least not Marvel on demand. It might be more from the other side, other products and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it'll just be the same. I still think if they drop something like Civil War or Infinity War, if it had to be during some time like this, I still think that would have been.
Yeah,
I think those would have went no matter what. Like I think they would have got billions of maybe more. I don't know. Like I think those, but yeah, I don't know for Black Widow, and even though they're hot, like are people gonna be as I don't know. But they show you can make good money with it though, but maybe just not to their standard.
mm.
So they still kind of was that like a record or something? Like I wonder what's the best anything has even done in the time frame in the COVID world. 200 million in 2 weeks. Like has anything done that?
For 2 weeks. I mean, yeah, Trolls probably also did 200 something million in 3 days. Like Trolls 2.
Okay.
But that was like in April too. Um,
Who has that? That's a Disney thing too, right?
nope, nah, it's one of these other guys. But that
Yeah.
might go to show you, like, remember, we was joking, like, I don't even know if it was on podcast. It might have just been a phone convo. It might have, Mulan, like, who gonna go crazy over Mulan? Obviously, somebody did, but it ain't the same thing as maybe some of their other IPs. Because, yeah, Trolls did that in 3 days. But also, Trolls was not on Disney. It could be bought from anywhere. And it wasn't $30. It was 20. So
Still,
it,
that's
it
still
you cut off the audience And maybe rightfully so because they're selling it from Disney and not from Amazon. But so they the only way to get this thing is through Disney, and you already have to be giving them $7 to $12, whatever deal you negotiated with them. So you already have to be paying them monthly to even have the opportunity to buy it, And then after that, you have to also be willing to give them a bonus $30, So, it's good, but it also like limits the amount of people versus Trolls. Anyone could get it, and so it made 200 million in 2 weeks, in 3 days, So maybe if Mulan was a normal on demand, maybe it makes more quicker, I don't know.
Than what it did now. But either way, they can make money with it though. So you can make money though.
I think just like the way they work their thing, like they, obviously no one planned for COVID, but I think with all their big like movie, I do remember just like it was on the stock channel and one of those, it was like on Bloomberg channel like years ago, and this is probably, I don't even know if they own Marvel at this point yet, but like when you hear like their like future plans to like shareholders and stuff, those movies are like a big part of their incomes, and then how it trickles down to everything, right? Amusement parks and all that. So I think those are kind of like their nukes, and they'll drop one here and there, but I think they kind of saving those shits for like the real theater battle. They don't want to be wasting them. Like, all right, like if they must, they'll drop one here and there.
They probably got mad power to fill things in the meantime. I'm sure they're not.
Yeah, Mandalorian comes out like end of October. People will finally use that app again, for at least 8 weeks.
I wonder where they make the majority of their money from, Disney. Like where the majority of their money stems from as a company.
Oh, yeah, you'd have to check those reports. I don't remember, but I can't. I mean, there's a lot. There's so much, right? There's just so much. Because, right, there's the movies, and then there's the theme parks, and then everything they own in between, So, yeah, there's so much. Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah, I want to see if there's somewhere.
Well, so I told you Star Wars made $900K, right? That was the 5th movie of the top 10 for the weekend. You know what was movie 9 though? Of American release? Acura, dude. Acura made $270K. A 4K re-release. That is opening weekend. I mean, some of these things that are getting re-released.
So most of their money comes from their media networks. All the channels that they own. They don't give a super breakdown. I'm not gonna look into which one brings the most, but their biggest thing is the commercials and TVs they own, then parks, then studio, media, parks, experiences, and products. The things related to the park, and then studio entertainment, which is their motion picture stuff, is third, and then direct to consumer. So how much did their movie studio entertainment provided a revenue of 1.7 billion third quarter 2020, down 50% compared to a year ago. Wow.
Part of me almost feels like in a world with no movie theaters, kind of only being down 50% is pretty impressive,
So if you multiply this, I guess for the year, say they did that the same thing. I don't know, what is it? I don't know, like almost 8 billion, 7 billion or something. They got like 6.6 billion from their channels, and it's only down, but they only went, it's only down 2.2% compared to a year ago. But yeah. So movies, I don't know. Yeah, it's not. It says makes up 13% of their revenue and 17% of their operating income. 83% of their operating income comes from their media TV channels. But it's still a profitable like segment. They've been growing the movie thing, like you said. That's just been a part of their plan. But it's still not their moneymaker though. So they probably do have plenty of cushion in their other business segments to not to push it back or something.
If anything, the movies are ads, to mess with them on other things,
Yeah, it's just part of their ecosystem.
Yeah.
But it's not their major, which makes sense too. I mean, they've been doing other stuff long before. I guess we know them for these movies, you know what I'm saying? So
it would be interesting, like at least me, like I know because there are Disney fan people out there for sure, but I don't think I'm one of them because like if they don't buy Marvel and they don't buy Star Wars, then like I don't even know why I ever watched a Disney anything ever.
Have you never seen a Disney movie as a kid?
Now though, I'm talking about now, like right now,
because they don't think it's for. Well, yeah, I mean, now they got us. The amusement park, if you into that, they would have got you there.
Yeah. No, I know. I just meant me personally. I didn't mean like the world or, I just meant me. Like, I'm probably not even ever paying attention to Disney. Like, if they don't buy those two.
I mean, they make kids' movies, though. Who's paying attention to
but everything
other than the niche?
No, I get it. But I mean, like, a lot of the stuff we into, you just show the comic book, just like.
I mean, I don't know. Unless you a kid, I can't, or have kids. Or you're a niche Disney fanatic. I don't think it's.
But there's a lot of niche. There's a lot of Disney fanatics. Like I just don't. I don't think I'm one of them because like.
How old are they?
No, they're our age. Yeah.
I want facts. You need to give me.
The same way people are crazy about Marvel, they really crazy about it. Dude, those people exist.
Yeah, but is that the majority of their segment? Is that the biggest? Is that who Disney is targeting?
I was just saying, like it's the same way. Like I probably wouldn't even care about Disney if Marvel and Star Wars was.
You don't care for eating people either, but there's a niche out there, cannibals that eat people. But that's not what the point is. What I'm saying is, I don't think.
But that was the point I was saying. Yeah, and you're right.
Is it for 35-year-old men, Disney cartoons? Nah, there's some that probably dig it and like little pony. Yes.
What you said right there, that's how that's Mark Bernardin's reasoning for how he accepts Star Wars now, because he always forgets that Star Wars is also for kids and not for him as an adult now, Like, because the same way we rip it apart, he's not exactly the biggest fan either. But, it's not maybe for us anymore. It's for the kids, So there's probably somebody who does like John Boyega. I don't even know how you say that guy's name. The stormtrooper that you like so much.
I don't know if I thought Star Wars was for kids when it came out. I don't know if I classified like retrospectively. It just seemed like a sci-fi movie. I don't know if I would feel like it was for kids or not for kids. Whereas like The Little Mermaid is like clearly for kids. Like I know Star Wars because my dad watched it. I don't know if he watched it when he was a kid or if it was just a dope sci-fi kind of movie. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, obviously kids can watch Star Wars, I guess.
I feel like because now I'd literally be arguing his point. Yeah, and I don't know if I necessarily believe it, but I can totally see it why it is for kids, and maybe with some of its simplicities. But now that I'm older, maybe I want something more from it, and that's why I'm usually disappointed from it outside of Rogue One or something, So.
Yeah, Rogue One seems just like a more serious kind of movie than the.
That's probably why we ain't getting another one. That's probably why we ain't getting another one.
I mean, it's in the same stuff is going on, I guess. It's just a better movie, but yeah, I don't know. Star Wars is its own brand, though. Star Wars existed outside of Disney, so I'm not even looking at just Star Wars is its own thing. I don't know that Star Wars, I would say, probably has a naturally wider audience than Disney, which I would assume is children and people who have children. Whereas Star Wars, like you could get the kids, you could get people that like sci-fi, just general movie goers, and people that like cinema. Like
you can still like it
a little bit more
when you're older,
a little bit more general. But Disney's for kids. Like Disney is is for kids. Like I've always known it to be for kids. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not looking for Disney to be doing nothing for me. For a long time, that's been the case too. Like since you probably weren't a kid, like you said, why would you look for Disney?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I liked all those movies too. Like growing up, I just probably never wanted to see any of them, like on purpose. You know, if that makes sense. You know, like Lion King's dope, but I don't know. Was I really yearning to see Lion King? You know, like Aladdin's cool too, but was I really yearning to see that? You know?
Yeah, but you were probably shown it because of who is marketed to, right?
Yeah,
like, I don't think
yeah.
your mom wanted. I think your mom probably cared much for Lion King either, other than like it being something that you could watch, and maybe she could watch with you or whatever the case may be, something like that. So,
yeah.
Marvel's different too. Like Marvel, I don't know. Comics probably got like a realistic demographic that probably, stops mid-20s or something.
Yeah.
But I could see it being a little broad, just in general. Like, I don't know. It's definitely for kids, though. It's definitely, yeah. I guess Marvel's kind of the same. I guess Marvel, I don't know. Feels like it's more for kids than I would say Star Wars, but not as much as I would say like Disney. But I don't really know if I don't know if there's really that much of a difference. That's just feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just might be, and it's probably easier to say this given where those things ended up, but it's probably easier to be into some of those things just now as an adult because the media is everywhere surrounding you from it. So even if you don't read comics, you still feel like, oh, it still serves you in some medium or another, you know? So
yeah. To be honest, I don't even care about the Marvel movies per se. It's just that they're making good movies of something that I think is cool. Like,
you know what
I don't know that I'm looking for superhero movies or any movies in particular. Just good movies, I guess, if anything, just good ones.
With Marvel and, maybe this is why I always say the future Star Wars will be better. You with those two IPs, unlike Pixar, with those two IPs, you connect with the characters, the people, sure, like, because I know you've always said you were more Marvel than DC, but with those two IPs, I'm sure there was some people just buying every Marvel comic and DC comic because of whatever, but it's like, all right, man, like, if you like, most people didn't have money like that, so you like Batman, you like whoever, I'm going to go buy every Batman comic, and I'm rocking with him. And, as you keep going, maybe you keep rocking with that. Even if you're not following the entire DC, whatever. Same thing for Spider-Man, whoever, But the other, something like Disney, unless it's like Mickey Mouse, like who's out here dropping, content all 50, 60, 70 years of Disney's history, right? Like Lion King came and went. Then there's the straight-to-video Lion Kings that are like the kind of their whack ones, but there isn't like little Lion King just dropping every year, every month a new Simba story, the Chronicles of Simba, So like to be a Disney fanatic, you almost have to be like a fanatic of like those ideas of those stories per se versus like Spider-Man might be the only thing you ever liked and that's it. The end, like for Marvel, you don't ever gotta like nothing else, But if you like that one character, you probably carry him with you or her like throughout the entire of your life, and as it evolves you evolve and vice versa.
I mean, look, I like Spider-Man. I always like Spider-Man. Like he's just a fixture of my childhood. Spider-Man, I even bought a comic book, he's in that one, right? Like I still like those kind of things, but like when the comic book movies first came out, I was still young enough that like I probably looked forward I wanted to probably see more of that as I was still younger and into that. But now, like I don't really give a shit if they make no more Marvel movies, to be honest. Like they could have never made Infinity War or did none of that shit. None of it would have mattered. But it was dope because if they did make it and they made it a good movie. Now, plenty of Spider-Mans have come out as well during this time. And you know how I feel about those. I've seen them. I wasn't clamoring for them. Like, to the point out they messed them up so bad and gave me bad. Like, I don't even care if y'all make this shit at all anymore, good or bad. Like, that's a separate kind of thing. But I don't know that I'm even looking for comic book movies now, or was looking for them more so than just good movies. And it happens to be that some of them are being made about comic books or anything. But I wasn't waiting for the Civil War movie or for nobody to make the Infinity War movie or nothing like that. Like, not like seriously, like when you wanted to see Alien versus Predators, when you seen the skull in the ship, like, I don't know. I think that part is like the kid element of it. Like,
yeah.
Really still being excited by some of those stuff. I still like dope movies, but I don't know if I'm waiting for more. If they're dope, if they do some dope stuff, I'm all for it. But I don't know. I just gotta wait and see. For any movie, if it's good or bad, but I don't know.
Yo, so it's a slight transition. I found out today there was a Netflix trailer recommended to me, and it was Resident Evil. It's just an animated film. It's whatever. But I read the comments. I didn't even watch the thing. I was just curious, and I saw it was animated and some graphics. I was like, all right, whatever. So I didn't even watch it, but I always scroll down the comments on almost every video just to get an idea of what's going on. And somebody said some stuff that I had to look up, which is apparently true. There is a live action Resident Evil show from Netflix coming out soon, with starring Albert Wesker's two daughters. And I guess their kind of adventures are in a city. I was like, okay.
What do you mean? Like, you don't like it, or?
I mean, first I didn't even know he had daughters. It sound like something like IP stuff where you buy an IP and you just do whatever you want with it, which is like, well, it sounded like you could have told that story without even buying the IP, but it's probably a better story if it says Resident Evil. Yeah, like
it's a skin.
Cause I'm like, yeah, that's what it seemed like. I love RE lore, but I don't know it 100 to a T. But outside of Resident Evil 6, I'm like, as far as I know, he only has a son, and that dude didn't seem too exciting to anybody either. Wesker's cool. Wesker's children is not cool. Also, it seems like that bullshit where it's like, Wesker got cool powers, does things. You know who doesn't have cool powers? Two daughters. Let's do a story about them. Two normal people, and now you probably just get the normal zombie stuff. But again, it has the RE, sexy attached to it. Who knows if even Wesker is in it? I don't know what timeline, if anything, it'll adhere to. So I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know too much about Resident Evil. I played a few games. I don't know. I don't think Wesker's not like he's a big focus of it, but like as you play, like
he isn't in all of them like that.
I think they could pull it off. Like I never played Resident Evil.
It could be a fine show. It could be a fine show. But I think if you come from the games and it's like, yo, we're gonna take your IP and make up two brand new people. I like these movies, by the way. I like those Resident Evil movies. Maybe as some
they're really bad.
I know they are, but I still like them. Like, I won't be like, yo, like, no.
Cool.
Yeah, but I like them in that really bad thing. I think, I don't know. Maybe seeing
they're
that
like
girl.
Fast and the Furious to me. Yeah. That's what they remind me of.
I probably like female hair. I was in female heroin, but that sounds like a drug, right? I don't know if you said. But yeah, like I thought she's badass, but that girl is like completely made up, and all the people from the game are just supporting roles, right? Leon, Claire, etc. It's like, if you're even gonna put them in the movie, you could have just scratched her out and make whoever, Jill or whoever, like the main character. Like, why make a movie with Resident Evil and just make a brand new person like for the movie? Like, I don't know, man. Like,
you still like it?
Yeah, but. It's doing all this dumb shit, like...
Is it staying to the spirit?
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, not to the game.
Anyway. I probably would have been cooler if they did the spirit of the game. It's not, but I'm liking it for, in the same vein that I like Batman versus Superman. Like, somebody had their own vision, and it's like, this ain't the vision, but you know what? It's a vision, and they made choices, and I guess I could work with this. Like.
This is the last. What I was saying on the show is that it's probably gonna suck, but I'm not mad. I wouldn't be mad that it's Wesker's daughters or normal people, because I play Resident Evil for the horror and like the grotesque. Wesker just happens to be one kind of thing. So if the equivalent to cool stuff for you is Wesker stuff, I would say if they didn't make horrible transformations, if I didn't see like cool horror special effects, that's what I would expect to see. Like you encounter all strange kind of things in the town and these Resident Evil kind of things, you know what I'm saying? Then I don't even want to fuck with the shit. I don't care if Wesker's in it. Like,
no.
He's just gonna come transform and do what I'm saying he can do. Anyway,
to be fair, like I guess I'm more a fan of the lore. I wasn't ever a big fan of the gameplay. So there's a bunch of non-Wesker stuff that can also be done. I just like him and his blatant ripoff of the Matrix at the end. It's kind of ridiculous. It makes no sense. But
they could pull it off without maybe having all of the crazy Wesker things in it and still be. I feel like Resident Evil, that is a place to have it, is a show and not movies. I feel like you could. I'm thinking of the game now, not the lore. I feel like you could have that take place over.
The thing you can do with this show, from the little bit, like I gather, is you can probably do what the number one complaint of Resident Evil things, maybe not of lately, but when they're bad, is that the original spirit of Resident Evil is supposed to be survival horror, and the two girls are normal people, right? Normal, boring people, and they'll probably be in an element of what the fuck is happening, and that kind of is Resident Evil. So now you see these normal people, and now they literally got to learn how to survive on the dot. So maybe they're not armed to the teeth like a Wesker or like I often joke, RE6 Chris, like military glammed up and everything. Like that's probably not the spirit of Resident Evil. The spirit is
Nah. That should have been the spirit from day one when we walked in this
rolling
mansion.
20 deep, a tank, a helicopter, all this shit.
As soon as we found out what was going on in this mansion, we should have called in the tanks to come demolish this place. What y'all talking about? Y'all here typing on this typewriter to save? No.
Post RE5. Post RE5. I have not seen Chris.
Look, I'm leaving this mansion.
Chris is rolling deep all the time. Military gear and everything.
There's some spooky stuff going on here. Look, I ain't never seen dogs like this. I ain't never seen birds.
People want Leon storylines. They want a guy.
I ain't never coming back here with just a gun.
Yes, a guy or a girl with a gun, and that's it. They don't want.
Never. Never again. Nobody exists like that. No professional soldier. None. Steven Seagal, maybe. One of them dudes. Chris ain't playing. He did what a smart, logical person would do. He assessed the situation. Look, man, been through this a few times. This pistol, this little handheld shit. Shit's rough. Let's bring some tanks, air support, naval ships, whatever.
Whatever. We got.
100 people. Whatever, but this little me, y'all sending me or whatever reason, it's just me and another girl, and we got two mans. Like, what's going on? Where's the budget for this? Nah. So I'm not mad at that. That's very in the spirit already.
But yeah, the show will at least have survival horror pretend. It could be good, but like you said, more than likely it'd probably just be,
it's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, TV show things and all that.
It's gonna be like the movie TV eyes. That's what I imagine in my head, like cheesy, like because the movie had good effects and stuff. But imagine like the TV version of the movie happening. That's what I see in my head. I have no idea.
The movies are weird as they keep going on sequel wise because, like I said, they make this character up, but then they keep pulling more and more of the game's lore, like literally like paralleling like certain games, and it was this hybrid of like, well, why didn't you just do the games? It was like they kind of wanted to do the game stories, but they kind of only did it when they ran out of, like, it made enough money that they can just keep sequelizing it indefinitely, like, so.
Yeah, and they just roll with it. Well, at least they kept it consistent, though. I will say that, like, it do feel like, you know what? I actually watched it on Timeline. That podcast I watched, he covers Resident Evil, and I watched Resident Evil. Overall, I think like even his assessment was that it does a pretty good job of maybe not necessarily getting like the true lore or canon, but it's like cohesive and consistent. You know what I'm saying some shit don't really make sense.
It's something. It is something.
They keep their spirit, whatever spirit they were going for. They definitely give you that for all of the. Nah, they do. They give you that for all of the movies and keep it kind of. If you like it, then it's good. I guess. They remind me of the Underworld movies. Like I put Resident Evil, Underworld, those kind of little series. Not so much Resident Evil, but they kind of give me the same little like vibe. I don't think as many Underworlds came out though.
Nah, and I feel like apart from that was probably a good moment in time for like movie 1 to come out. Like, cause I feel like movies were still a thing. Like, I feel like as they keep releasing Underworlds, like other things start to, that would maybe have been like the outlet for a movie. I think other things start to pop up, or like maybe like superhero stuff starts to pop up. Cause like, before
game things do. Blood Rain. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
They made a movie of that. I never seen it. There was a movie called Ultra. I felt like there was a period with like these female heroine video game-ish kind of. I don't know. Like these Kate Beckinsale characters.
The Kate Beckinsale. I remember Blood Rain. So wasn't Blood Rain made by that guy who's like supposedly like the worst filmmaker ever, like or he always makes like he's killed or he's done like 6 or 7 video game franchises and he always does bad movies with all of them, and people get mad. People get mad at Uwe Boll. I think that was his name, like UWE Uwe Boll or some shit. He always does like these like really bad like game. He did like House of the Dead, I think. You probably remember that. Like a damn light gun.
That game.
A light, a light gun game. Not the game though. Like a light gun game got what is
a movie.
We've
seen it. We seen it a long time ago.
That shit is bad. That's not the spirit of nothing. That's not the spirit of nothing.
It was crazy. Yeah, I think it was nuts too. I think it was just like crazy.
Look at it. I just said House of the Dead. In 2017, he dropped House of Evil as a producer. I don't even know what that is. But let me see it. He did House of the Dead. He did Alone in the Dark. He did Blood Rain. These are all back to back to back. Alone in the Dark, loosely based on the 4th installment of video game. Probably emphasis on loosely based. House of the Dead is an adaptation of the 1996 light gun game. What kind of adaptation is that? Are there guns in this movie? Like, that's it?
Jeez.
Damn, there's a Blood Rain 2. He did that? He did Far Cry. I didn't even know that shit was a thing. I didn't even know Far Cry had a movie. That's like a big game. It was.
I was just Googling some stuff because I'm trying to see when the films came out. 2005. Blood Rain. This should look trash.
Damn, he did Blood Rain: The Third Reich. Yeah, this guy's like discography or filmography is wild. This look like some crazy shit. He really likes sequels too.
Yeah, so I think Blade comes out in 98. And then in like the 2000s, you still have the Blade series running. Resident Evil drops. Underworld drops. Blood Rain drops in 05. There's Ultraviolet. So there's like I don't know. There was definitely like a little trend going on that time with like video game horror, sci-fi kind of stuff, and like female leads, without the exception of Blade. But I think Blade has something to do with Underworld and Resident Evil, having to do with like I don't know. I think Resident Evil comes out before Underworld does, but yeah, I don't know the whole vampire that kind of.
I just had a flashback of seeing Resident Evil for the first time in the theater. I think that was at Whitestone Theater, dude.
The Rock.
That shit was kind of packed though. Like I remember, like those things were exciting to see, even if they were gonna be doo-doo.
The Matrix comes out in '99, so there's also like the aesthetic of like I don't know that leathery underworld punkish. Look at this Blade. Blade's aesthetic, right? Even the bad guy, Underworld. This leather dark. I'm not. I don't know. I just feel like even Resident Evil, like there was like this.
I don't know if they really wear. They don't really dress like that. Like outside of Wesker, I don't think they really dress like him though.
Yo, what? She come out in some. You need to rewatch it. I don't know.
I don't know if I need to rewatch those. But I mean,
well, I'm telling you, those types of clothes ain't just sitting around in the apocalypse. Leather get-ups, shit like this. I ain't say they look like they was dressed like they was in the Matrix, but there was like this aesthetic and the type of stuff. I don't know, same gunplay, all of this kind of stuff, and I don't know. That shit was hot during that time. Obviously,
she did another movie that around that time that wasn't it wasn't Resident Evil, but essentially she's the same.
It was Ultraviolet.
Oh yes.
That's what I was saying.
I don't know if I saw that.
I didn't see it, but that's what I'm saying. It was like
it's all the themes.
That started getting copied. Like those things started getting copied in that period. So we got real shit like Blade and I suppose Resident Evil. But like the rest of it was like, yeah, people were just pulling from that any way that they could, whether it was a game title with Blood Rain, which is basically Ultraviolet, which is basically, even though there was a real game, I mean, making a movie from it. They all come out in this decade. It's
she's
clear.
Playing she's playing the main character, the lead in Monster Hunter. That's getting a movie, sorry. For better or worse,
Very well.
Directed by Paul W.S. Anderson.
When does Tomb Raider come out?
Like another one? Oh.
No, the one.
The Angelina Jolie. That one, right?
The first one that came out.
Real quick, the Monster Hunter she's doing is the same director who did all the Resident Evil. So essentially, it's just like the saga continues. Now it's called Monster Hunter, and it's another Capcom game. It's just like the bad guys are going to change. That's it. It's like so lame. It's like...
And on top of that, Tomb Raider came out in 2001, right around all
the same time.
All of these, so there was definitely like they were doing Hollywood shit. Know what I mean? Like that was the end thing.
Yo, this guy directed, by the way, the good Mortal Kombat and Event Horizon, and Alien vs Predator 1. Lost you on that
one. Yeah, that didn't meet my expectations. I really like Mortal Kombat and Horizon. I like that.
I don't know. Sometimes I look at the film. I look at the filmography sometimes, and it's like Mortal Kombat probably was a mistake. It's the second movie he ever did. I don't know. Be interesting. I'm pretty sure, like, whenever that new Mortal Kombat comes out, it'll probably be, most people's favorite, man. But yeah, I don't know. That one did a good job. That current Mortal Kombat. But yo, should we do the songs of the weeks and then wrap it up?
Yeah, I think so.
You got any songs?
You can start with yours. I have to think about mine.
I'm gonna try to get a normal one. But the first one, it was the sample this week for the beat battle. So the Sting's entrance music for when he's the Crow Sting, because if you remember that, like I know, yeah. So when Sting basically became Brandon Lee, the theme music for that version of Sting is pretty epic. It's pretty fucked up. Let me see if I could get a normal song. And then here, this is a classic from thousands of years ago when I used to listen to stuff. This is Way Out West, Surrender. So yeah, that's a normal song. Those are the two songs.
Okay.
And Tory Lanez. Nah, I'm just kidding. So that stuff isn't on Spotify, that album that we started off?
Is it not?
Oh, it is. It is on here. Yo, so he is making money. That changes the whole argument. Maybe he isn't.
Wow.
Not a good
I thought the article said sound. I didn't look for it or nothing, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, damn. All right, well, forget that. This is really not a good look, probably.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I don't think any song has 1 million plays, though. Looking at it, though. Song 1 has 700, and that's it.
Yo, my most recent songs are crazy, man. I was doing something. I'm gonna go over that, but let me.
Bryson Tiller re-released Trap Soul Deluxe. He actually did a music video for a song that's 5 years old. That's very unheard of for pop people, you know, to make a music video that late in the game. I actually saw that music video. I don't watch stuff, you know, but that was pretty interesting.
All right, here's the two. This came on randomly the other day, and I replayed it a few times. The Sheboygan Left by RJD2.
Oh shit!
It's on Dame Fortune, but yeah, I really like that one. RJD2 transforms a lot. I don't know. I like that one a lot. And then this one's funny, but it grew on me as I listened to it because this is kind of sick and morbid, but yeah, I'm making a playlist to shoot to when I go like target shooting, but it's like I was thinking of like a horror movie and stuff when I was putting it together, so I wanted it to be music that wouldn't go with whatever you would be associated with like shooting. So it's like Disney songs, but there's still songs that I kind of like for like very meta reasons as I think about shooting. So my favorite things by Julie Andrews from the Sound of Music soundtrack.
Yes.
These are a few of my favorite. Yeah, so that. Yeah. I don't know. For what it's worth. Sheboygan Left.
Have you been going
my favorite things.
You already started going to the range, or you just prepping it?
Yeah, I'm getting the playlist ready.
Oh man, I didn't know that was part of it. Set the vibe.
Yeah, my favorite things.
Man.
No better way to start it, right? So that's a sick song though to listen to. In my mind, I was like, yo, because I've heard that song used in movies before and in horror movies. It was used in the trailer for some movie, but
I feel like Andre did a sample of it too on the Outkast album. He used it.
I feel like if that was playing during like certain scenes in a horror movie, it would just create like a crazy, like just positioning things that shouldn't be next to each other like that. I don't know. Or like a war scene or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Writing the script. You writing the script already?
You know what I'm going for.
I got you.
That's it though. That's all I got. What's the name of this podcast? Also, what is it?
I mean, it's always subject to taints, but I think I called it. If we look it up, I have the acronym already, but it might be RKSB right now, like until otherwise.
RKSB.
I think that's what it is. I think it might be return, right? I don't know.
Oh, we gotta think of something. We gotta think of some things.
I'm gonna go to the thing right now, and I'll find out.
But yeah, well, for later discussion.
Yeah, RKSB. That's what it is right now.
RKSB.
It's just
Okay.
run back KSB. So.
Very well, Dimension Z, man.
But all right, dude. May the potatoes be baked and chicken fall on your steak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wish prosperity to all you in Dimension Z.
There you go. All right, dude. Steaks.